Every single morning, millions of health-conscious individuals across the globe reach for their containers of chia seeds, sprinkling them generously into smoothies, stirring them into yogurt, or letting them soak overnight in their oats. These people genuinely believe they're providing their bodies with a powerful weapon against inflammation. And honestly, who could blame them? The wellness industry has positioned chia seeds as nothing short of a modern miracle, a tiny seed packed with extraordinary health benefits. Scientific research does indeed validate many of these remarkable claims, showing measurable improvements in various health markers. However, there exists a substantial and troubling gap between the dramatic, life-changing effects that we see documented in carefully controlled laboratory studies and the disappointingly modest results that most everyday people actually experience when they consume chia seeds on their own. The explanation for this frustrating discrepancy has been hiding in plain sight all along, and what the scientific literature reveals will fundamentally change how you approach inflammation management forever. Before we dive deeper into this eye-opening information, I want to extend a warm welcome to everyone joining us here at Older Insight. My name is Dr. Barbara O'Neill, and this community is built on a foundation of science-backed health strategies that produce genuine, measurable results in people's lives. We're not here to chase trends or repeat marketing claims that sound impressive but lack substance. Instead, we focus exclusively on separating scientific fact from marketing fiction, delivering information that's firmly grounded in legitimate, peer-reviewed research. I truly appreciate it if you'd take just a moment to subscribe to our channel and activate those notifications so you never miss our in-depth explorations of natural health solutions. Here's something that really helps us serve you better. Please comment below and tell us which country you're watching from right now. Our audience genuinely spans the entire globe, and understanding where you're located helps us create content that addresses the specific needs and concerns of our wonderfully diverse community. Now, let's examine exactly what makes chia seeds such powerful anti-inflammatory agents in the first place. These remarkable little seeds contain exceptionally high concentrations of something called alpha-linolenic acid, which researchers abbreviate as ALA. This is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid, and the numbers are truly impressive. Research that's been published in the peer-reviewed medical database PMC shows that chia oil contains over 62% ALA, making it genuinely one of the richest plant sources of this beneficial compound available anywhere in nature. Multiple independent studies conducted across different research institutions have meticulously documented ALA's anti-inflammatory capabilities, particularly its effectiveness in reducing the production of compounds in your body that promote inflammation. The power of chia seeds extends far beyond just their omega-3 content, though. These seeds pack an impressive array of powerful antioxidants, including chlorogenic acid, caffeic acid, quercetin, and camphorol. Research specifically demonstrates that these polyphenolic compounds possess significant anti-inflammatory properties through their ability to decrease the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, particularly ones with intimidating names like tumor necrosis factor alpha and interleukin-6. A comprehensive meta-analysis published in 2024 found that regular chia seed consumption significantly decreases C-reactive protein, which happens to be one of the key inflammatory markers that doctors routinely measure when they're assessing inflammation levels in your body. Beyond these compounds, chia seeds contain approximately 20% protein by weight, and studies have shown that the proteins derived from digested chia seeds possess their own anti-inflammatory properties. These specific proteins work by inhibiting pathways that activate something called nuclear factor kappa B, often abbreviated as NF-kappa B, which scientists have identified as a master regulator of inflammatory gene expression throughout your body. The scientific evidence supporting chia seeds spans multiple inflammatory conditions across various body systems. Clinical trials have documented measurable improvements in metabolic syndrome. Research focusing on cardiovascular inflammation has recorded significant cytokine reductions in participants. Study after study demonstrates measurable, reproducible benefits across a wide spectrum of health conditions related to chronic inflammation. However, here's where we encounter the crucial limitation that changes everything. While chia seeds undeniably contain these impressive omega-3 fatty acids and powerful antioxidants, rigorous research has revealed a significant bioavailability challenge that most people simply don't know about. The omega-3 ALA that exists abundantly in chia seeds has remarkably poor conversion rates to the more active omega-3 forms that your body actually needs to combat inflammation effectively. Multiple studies examining this conversion process have shown that only about 5% of the ALA you consume actually converts to EPA, and shockingly less than half of 1% converts to DHA. These are the specific forms of omega-3 fatty acids that provide the most powerful anti-inflammatory effects in human physiology. Think of this situation like having an incredibly powerful medicine locked securely inside a bottle that you simply cannot open, no matter how hard you try. The beneficial compounds genuinely exist within those chia seeds, and they are indeed scientifically proven to be effective when they reach the right locations in your body. However, without the right catalyst present to dramatically enhance absorption and utilization, the vast majority of these beneficial molecules simply pass completely through your digestive system without ever reaching the inflamed tissues where they're desperately needed. This scientific reality explains precisely why people who diligently eat chia seeds every single day often report only modest improvements in their inflammatory symptoms, rather than the transformative, life-changing results they were hoping for and expecting based on all the promising health claims they've encountered. This brings us directly to the game-changing discovery that has the potential to revolutionize your approach to natural inflammation management. Scientific research has revealed that combining chia seeds with two specific ingredients creates a synergistic anti-inflammatory power that's dramatically more effective than chia seeds alone could ever be. The first critical addition to this formula is turmeric, that vibrant golden spice you've probably seen in your kitchen. The second, absolutely essential component is a quality healthy fat, and I'll explain exactly why in just a moment. Turmeric contains curcumin, which stands as one of the most extensively researched anti-inflammatory compounds in all of nutritional science. A comprehensive meta-analysis published in 2023 that examined 66 randomized controlled trials demonstrated conclusively that curcumin supplementation significantly reduces multiple inflammatory markers throughout the body. This particular study found that curcumin decreased C-reactive protein by 0.58 milligrams per liter, reduced tumor necrosis factor alpha by 3.48 picograms per liter, and lowered interleukin-6 by 1.31 picograms per liter. These are the exact biomarkers that doctors specifically measure when they're assessing inflammation levels in their patients. Research has shown that curcumin accomplishes this by inhibiting multiple inflammatory pathways, simultaneously including COX-2 lipoxygenase and that critical NF-kappa B pathway we mentioned earlier. What makes turmeric particularly valuable when combined with chia seeds is their complementary action at different levels of your inflammatory response. While chia seeds provide omega-3 fatty acids that work to reduce inflammatory prostaglandin production at the cellular level, curcumin operates at the genetic level itself, essentially switching off the genes that code for inflammatory proteins before they're even produced. This multi-level attack creates far more comprehensive inflammatory protection than either ingredient could possibly achieve independently. The healthy fat component is absolutely essential and cannot be skipped under any circumstances. Both the beneficial compounds in chia seeds and curcumin are fat-soluble nutrients, which means they require dietary fat to be present for optimal absorption in your digestive system. Landmark research conducted in 1998 demonstrated something truly remarkable. Curcumin absorption increases by an astounding 2,000% when it's consumed with even relatively small amounts of dietary fat. When curcumin was administered alone in clinical studies, serum levels measured in human subjects were either completely undetectable or remained very low. However, combining curcumin with fat dramatically increased its bioavailability, making it actually usable by your body. Extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil both serve this critical purpose excellently. Beyond merely enhancing the absorption of other compounds, these oils contain their own powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that add to the overall effect. Research indicates that specific compounds in olive oil can inhibit inflammatory enzymes, while coconut oil provides medium-chain triglycerides that may independently reduce inflammatory markers in your bloodstream. When you deliberately combine chia seeds, turmeric, and quality healthy fats together, you create a sophisticated, multi-targeted formula that works synergistically at the absorption level, the cellular level, and the genetic level simultaneously, addressing inflammation more comprehensively than any single ingredient could achieve on its own. Understanding how these three components function together in your body requires grasping a fundamental concept in nutrition science called nutritional synergy. When you consume chia seeds, turmeric, and healthy fats together in a single preparation, you're not merely adding their individual benefits together in a simple mathematical way. Instead, you're actually multiplying those benefits through complementary mechanisms that work in harmony throughout your entire body. Let's trace this remarkable process step by step, from the moment of consumption all the way through to cellular action, so you can truly appreciate what's happening inside you. When you initially ingest this powerful combination, the healthy fat component immediately begins its crucial work right there in your digestive system. Research has clearly shown that dietary fats trigger the release of bile acids from your gallbladder and simultaneously stimulate the production of pancreatic enzymes, creating absolutely optimal conditions for absorbing fat-soluble nutrients like the ones we're working with here. By the time the beneficial compounds from chia seeds and the curcumin molecules arrive in your intestines, the conditions have already been perfectly primed for maximum absorption into your bloodstream. Studies have meticulously documented absorption increases of several hundred to several thousand% for curcumin when it's consumed alongside fats compared to when it's taken alone. Simultaneously, the omega-3 fatty acids from those chia seeds begin their important journey through your bloodstream to tissues throughout your entire body. When consumed alongside these additional healthy fats, the intestinal of these omega-3s improve substantially. These circulating omega-3 molecules travel throughout your cardiovascular system, eventually incorporating themselves into cell membranes all over your body, where research clearly suggests they work to reduce inflammatory signaling at that fundamental structural level. This creates an essential foundation of anti-inflammatory defense that operates constantly at the cellular architecture level. Meanwhile, that dramatically enhanced curcumin absorption means significantly higher concentrations are actually reaching your tissues and cells in therapeutically meaningful amounts. These curcumin molecules possess the remarkable ability to penetrate through cell membranes, where they directly interact with the inflammatory pathways we discussed earlier, powerfully suppressing that NF-kappa B activation and substantially reducing the production of inflammatory cytokines. The beauty of this coordinated action truly lies in its perfect timing and multifaceted approach. The chia seeds provide sustained, long-term omega-3 support for overall cellular health and membrane integrity, while the curcumin simultaneously delivers acute suppression of actively occurring inflammatory processes right when they're happening. This sophisticated multi-mechanism approach explains exactly why this specific combination produces results that are genuinely superior to what any single ingredient could achieve. You're simultaneously building long-term cellular support and structural integrity with those omega-3 fatty acids, actively suppressing inflammatory gene expression with the curcumin, and maximizing the bioavailability of both compounds with those healthy fats. It's remarkably similar to deploying both defensive fortifications for long-term protection and active countermeasures for immediate threats, while simultaneously ensuring that both systems operate at absolutely peak efficiency. Now let me provide you with the precise recipe that translates all of this scientific understanding into practical daily application that you can begin implementing immediately. This formula is solidly based on research evidence and represents an accessible, cost-effective method to harness these powerful anti-inflammatory compounds in your own home. You'll need just 4 simple ingredients that most people can easily obtain. First, you need chia seeds themselves. Second, you need turmeric powder. Third, you need a healthy fat source, specifically either olive oil or coconut oil. Fourth, you need your choice of liquid, which can be plain water, almond milk, or coconut milk, depending on your preferences. Here are the exact measurements that research supports for optimal effectiveness. You need 1 tablespoon of chia seeds. You need 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric powder. You need 1 teaspoon of either olive oil or coconut oil. Finally, you need 8 to 10 ounces of your chosen liquid. Let me explain each component's specific role so you understand why these measurements matter. The chia seeds should be whole rather than ground, because grinding can expose those delicate omega-3 fatty acids to oxidation from air exposure, which reduces their effectiveness substantially. 1 tablespoon provides approximately 2.5 grams of omega-3 ALA, along with beneficial fiber and those antioxidants we discussed, an amount that research clearly supports as therapeutically beneficial. The turmeric powder should be high quality with a deep, vibrant orange color, which indicates higher curcumin content within the powder. 1/2 teaspoon provides approximately 100 to 200 milligrams of curcumin. While this amount might initially seem modest compared to some supplement doses, research consistently shows that when combined with fat and consumed consistently over time, even these amounts produce measurable anti-inflammatory effects in human subjects. Remember that curcumin comprises only about 2 to 5% of turmeric powder by weight, which is precisely why that combination with fat becomes so critical for achieving meaningful bioavailability. The healthy fat component is absolutely essential to this formula's effectiveness. Do not skip this component under any circumstances, because the research clearly demonstrates that without adequate fat present, curcumin absorption remains extremely poor and therapeutically inadequate. 1 teaspoon of coconut oil or olive oil provides entirely sufficient fat for that dramatic bioavailability enhancement we discussed without adding excessive calories to your daily intake. Studies have shown that even these relatively small amounts of fat can increase curcumin bioavailability substantially, making previously unavailable compounds suddenly accessible to your body. To properly prepare this powerful mixture, start by adding your chia seeds directly to your liquid in a glass or jar. Then add your measured turmeric powder and oil. Stir the mixture vigorously for 15 to 20 seconds, ensuring even distribution of all ingredients throughout the liquid. Because chia seeds naturally absorb liquid and form a characteristic gel-like consistency, you should let this mixture sit for at least 10 to 15 minutes before consuming it. Many people actually prefer preparing this formula the night before, which creates a pleasant pudding-like texture by morning that's easy and genuinely enjoyable to consume. This overnight soaking approach also increases the extractability of those omega-3 fatty acids from the seeds, according to research findings. For optimal results based on clinical studies, consume this preparation once daily, preferably with your breakfast or your first meal of the day. Consistency matters significantly more than achieving perfect timing, so focus on making this a regular daily habit rather than worrying excessively about the exact hour you consume it. Before implementing this formula into your daily routine, several important safety considerations deserve your careful attention. While this combination is generally safe for most people when used appropriately, specific groups should exercise caution or consult with their healthcare providers before beginning, particularly those individuals with existing medical conditions or those taking prescription medications. If you're currently taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin or antiplatelet drugs such as aspirin, you need to know that both omega-3 fatty acids and curcumin can affect blood clotting mechanisms. Research has documented mild anticoagulant effects from both compounds, which means they could potentially interact with pharmaceutical blood thinners in ways that increase bleeding risk. This doesn't necessarily mean you cannot use this formula, but it does mean you should discuss it thoroughly with your healthcare provider first, so they can appropriately monitor for any interactions. Individuals with gallbladder disease or bile duct obstruction should approach turmeric use cautiously. Research shows that curcumin actively stimulates bile production, which could potentially exacerbate certain gallbladder conditions in susceptible individuals. If you have a personal history of kidney stones, particularly calcium oxalate stones, which are the most common type, you should discuss chia seed consumption with your doctor, because chia seeds do contain moderate oxalate levels that might prove problematic for individuals who are susceptible to stone formation. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should consult with their healthcare providers before using therapeutic amounts of turmeric like those in this formula. While culinary amounts used in normal cooking are generally considered safe, concentrated doses lack sufficient safety research, specifically during pregnancy and lactation periods. Chia seeds are typically considered safe during these periods, but discussing any new dietary regimen with your obstetrician remains the prudent approach. Quality matters immensely for all ingredients in this formula. Purchase your chia seeds from reputable sources and store them in airtight containers in cool, dark places to prevent degradation of those delicate omega-3 fatty acids from light and heat exposure. Turmeric powder loses its potency progressively over time, so buy smaller quantities and replace your supply every 6 months for maximum effectiveness. For your fat sources, choose extra virgin olive oil packaged in dark glass bottles or virgin coconut oil from reliable, trusted brands. Start with smaller amounts if you're new to these ingredients. Some individuals experience mild digestive discomfort when first introducing chia seeds, particularly without adequate water intake throughout the day. Understanding realistic timelines helps you properly evaluate this formula's effectiveness in your specific situation and maintain consistency long enough to actually see meaningful results emerge. Anti-inflammatory changes occur gradually over time as your body's cellular environment progressively shifts toward reduced inflammatory signaling. Unlike pharmaceutical anti-inflammatory medications that work within hours of consumption, natural approaches like this one typically require consistent daily use over a period of weeks to months for full benefits to manifest completely. During your first week of daily consumption, you probably won't notice dramatic changes in how you feel, though some individuals do report subtle improvements in digestive comfort and mild energy level improvements. Biochemically, your body is already beginning to incorporate those omega-3 fatty acids from chia seeds into cell membranes, and curcumin is starting to modulate inflammatory gene expression, but these changes haven't yet accumulated sufficiently for obvious symptomatic improvements that you'd clearly notice. By weeks 2 through 4 of consistent daily use, most people consuming this combination begin experiencing genuinely noticeable benefits in their daily lives. Joint stiffness commonly decreases during this time frame, particularly that frustrating morning stiffness that many inflammatory condition sufferers experience regularly. Mental clarity improvements frequently emerge around week 3 to 4 as systemic inflammation decreases and brain function improves. Maximum benefits generally appear after 8 to 12 weeks of consistent, uninterrupted use. At this point, the cumulative effects of sustained reduced inflammatory signaling, improved cellular function, and prolonged anti-inflammatory compound exposure have produced the most significant improvements possible with this approach. We've covered substantial ground today, and I sincerely hope this information has transformed your understanding of using chia seeds effectively for inflammation management. If this video provided genuine value to you, please type yes in the comments below. Share this video with anyone struggling with inflammation or chronic pain. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss our evidence-based health content. Thank you for watching and for your commitment to your health.